Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
So, let's talk about why you joined the military.
Why did I join the military?
Yes.
Wow. So, where do you want me to start?
Wherever you want to start, wherever your heart
Okay.
desire.
So I want to always I like to start kind of from the beginning, then I kind of like to jump to the middle, then I'll jump over to when the kids came. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. So I'll start from the beginning. First, let's talk about where I'm from. I'm from Mississippi,
Yep.
small town. So very, very small town, rural area. So basically, where I'm from really wasn't much of nothing. I always tell people I grew up, I would never say I grew up poor. I grew up with all the things that we needed. So as I got older and graduated high school, I went to college for a while. So I wanted to do something better with my life. So I had some siblings who had gone to the military. My oldest brother retired Air Force. I know that's a thing for you because you're Air Force. So, you know. So, and I had siblings who went to the Army. So I decided one day I just went on my own and I went to the recruiter. I initially started with I'll just go to the Reserve or National Guard.
Yeah.
Well, that ended up turning into me signing up to go to the active duty Army.
Okay.
So, and it starts like probably the story of everyone who initially goes to the Army for the 4 year thing. So, 4 year, jump forward a little bit, turned out to be, I ended up being in the Army for 22 years. So, 4 years started, and then I kept re-enlisting because I kept progressing so much. I'm not going to lie to you, I loved being in the Army. The Army became my boyfriend. That's what I would tell people. It became my boyfriend. It gave me, I don't know, I felt like it became a part of me. I fell in love with it. Honestly, I think I felt like I belonged.
Yeah.
It was maybe I felt loved. I felt like I was a part of something greater than what I came from, even though I come from a big family and I felt love, but it was just a different type of love. It was just the friendships. It was like my military family. There's a different type of love. And it's hard to explain, and it may sound crazy, but there's a different type of love. So, and went on to the Army and lived in many places and had my first child at 25. I'm married, of course, and when I had that child, my whole life changed. So I knew at that moment, now I am in the Army for this child.
Ah,
Now I'm in the Army for this child.
yes.
So you're talking, why would I get out of the Army at this point? The
Yeah.
Army is giving me all of these things. You're talking all the benefits, all the medical, the dental, all the stability. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So now my life, I'm living it for this child. I am doing this for this child.
Mhm.
That's my sole purpose now. So everything became about everything was about me surviving to take care of my daughter.
Okay.
So it became a survival thing.
Oh, all right.
It did.
So did you get to a point where you said, like, this is it. The survival took me to the point where I got to go all the way to the end to retirement? Or is it, I see what happens along the way?
Chisa, when I had that kid, everything was about that kid. Nothing else. I saw nothing else. Jay was everything. So everything I had to make a life for Jay.
Yeah.
So that means everything in the Army, I needed to make sure I was on the straight and narrow. I needed to make sure I had to hit every target in the Army because I knew that I wanted to have a great life. I wanted to provide a great life for Jay. I wanted her to have the best of everything. So for me, it was a no failure.
Yeah.
I failure was not an option, basically.
Well, I mean, you
Everything
get to the tippy top. So,
it was she said it was a no failure. So it was like promotion. So everything I and not it and I don't ever want to sound like I'm bragging about anything, but when it came to promotions, my goal was always to be a first time goal when
yes.
it came to promotions. And I can say that now. I was always a first time go. And for anyone who's listening from the Army, they always know about making promotions in the secondary zone.
Yeah.
I always made promotion in secondary zone all the way up the ranks. So that was a huge accomplishment. And if anyone knows that making promotion in secondary zone, always a huge accomplishment. So
So
yeah.
is there a zone before the secondary?
Yeah, so you get secondary zone and first, and you get primary zone and secondary zone. So if you're in the secondary zone, it's basically you're really not in the zone for promotion, but
Ah,
you're
okay.
getting looked at when you're really not in
Yeah,
the zone of
yeah, yeah.
promotion. So
Oh,
it's like I made it when I really wasn't in the zone for promotion, you know. So
yeah.
yeah,
That's,
so
that's big, big, big accomplishments right there.
yeah. And
Because
the other thing I would always say, I always tried to have great mentors. I tried to surround myself with great people. And that thing about it takes a village, yeah. I always tried to have a great village around for that support system, to be around, I wanted to have, I was 25 and having a kid. I'm still young, even though being in the Army makes you, it makes some people grow up. So I feel like me going to the Army, I felt like I was a grown up, and having a kid makes some people grow up. So I feel like I was a grown up, and so I wanted to surround myself with people who were accomplished and established. So I wanted to surround myself with a village of accomplished people that can, give me that wisdom, and so Jay can see that and know that mom has surrounded herself with positive people, so she can see and maybe feed off of that, so she can know that kind of lifestyle. So yeah. So
now, how many times did you deploy?
and so yeah. What was that?
How many times have you deployed? Did you deploy?
Oh, three. So that's lucky for me. I only actually, if you count when I was a private, I guess I kind of don't like to count when I was a private. I deployed when I was a private, when we were in the Bosnia Herzegovina type deployment. I don't
Uh-huh.
count when I was a private. I deployed three times as a, as I call it, the adult, as a NCO. So I deployed three times. I had to leave her behind, leave the kids behind. I had two girls at this point when I deployed. So I was a senior NCO when I finally deployed. So yeah,
Oh,
but it was that stability. They had stability, so I was married, so it was a stability there for them. So, but it was still tough because it was girls.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
so
well,
which
there's a whole nother world.
it's a, it's a whole nother world. So, and I'll touch on that later when, because me leaving them behind in the end, at the end of the career, that's when it beat me down, because that's when they told me how they felt. So, but I'll get to that point later on. So,
For me, it's like they only see the leaving part, and
yeah,
but in reality, they wouldn't have had what they had if
yeah,
you didn't do what you had to do. For me,
exactly, exactly. So I feel like
shut it
you and
down.
I know that, and probably every other female, or any, or not even just female, every other soldier or service member who done that, their children or whatever don't understand that they don't understand that mom and dad deploying is probably the reason why they have the great life that they have now. They don't understand that all they know is mom and dad deployed and left me behind, and not understand that mom and dad deployed is what afforded me to have this great college career, afford me to go to college, or afford
Yeah.
me to have this nice house, or afford
Yes,
me to have this nice car to be able to go to college, or or
yes,
even the simple thing is afford me to have these nice shoes that I have, or every time mom I need some money or call home that they can give me the money, those kind of things.
yes,
So,
yes.
and I say that because that's what my kids do. So
What they call that? They call that the first world problems, right?
first world problems. I like to call it the privileged kids, but they don't understand that. So,
But this,
yeah.
so for me, well, for us, we had to test and study to make promotion.
Yeah.
What for the boards? Like, do you have any advice for people as far as getting looked at in the position where you got looked at, and when you ain't even up for promotion?
Yeah.
What did what do you have, or what would you advise somebody that to do to help them be, I don't know if the Army still does that way, because
So I would say good you say that, because it's funny, because I work now that I'm retired and I still work for the government. I am still afforded the opportunity to still work with service members. And it's funny because just last week there was I still work with both joint services. And just last week, I guess it was an Army release. It's not even the promotion release list. It's the OML, they call it now. So nothing is the same anymore of how when I
yeah,
would get selected or promoted or whatever. So I don't even know how to tell them to study, Chisa. It's like everything is so different. I don't even know how to tell them. It's all I can say is do your best.
yeah,
Find out how things are done now, because I can't even tell them. This old retired sergeant major can't tell you how things are done now. So find out how things are done. Look at the reports from past is what I always tell people. Look at how they did it from past. Everything changes every cycle, trust me. So just see how they've done it, and maybe listen to those who've gone down that path or what have you, and just get some advice. Have those great mentors. They could tell you, when you have great mentors, they will set you up for success, period. So just do all the right things, get all your schooling done, continue to work hard. Key is, don't sit back and wait for things to be handed to you.
that's
That is where a lot of service members get caught up. They just sit back and think that things should be handed to them.
yes,
No, go out and work for it and earn your way. Don't just wait and think you are entitled to something. No, go out and work for it. Earn your way.
well, that's where a lot of
Because
people are caught up.
yes, because they think they're entitled to something. Because as a serviceman, you have, trust me, those under you are looking at you. If you work your way up, you're motivating someone under you or even above you to work even harder. So it doesn't matter. Don't just sit back and think, oh, well, I'm Sergeant so and so and so, so I should be the next rank. No, that's not how they work. Just
Yes,
because you're Sergeant so and so and so, what have you done to earn the next rank? Just because you have the title, what have you done? Because guess what? Specialist so and so and so could have worked their behinds off and done X, Y, and Z, and been acknowledged by everybody. But Sergeant so and so ain't hasn't done anything but wore the rank. There's a difference.
oh yes.
So
Now, did you do the same job when you came into to when you retired?
yes, but the difference is the MOS, the name of the MOS has changed like 3 times, but same thing. So, so it's, yes, I was still HR, human resources. So when I came in the Army, it was 75 hotel, and then it was changed to 42 Alpha. So but it's still HR. Yes. So I was S1. So yes,
So you were in control of everybody.
personnel.
You were
So yes, so personnel in the Army, I believe, is different from personnel in the Air Force, is different from personnel in the Navy, because by working with the Navy right now, personnel in the Navy is actually split into two parts, whereas personnel in the Army, you have personnel and finance, and it's like there's basically one thing. So yeah, it's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same thing for us. When you do a specific personnel, when you do that,
Yeah,
you can do 100 jobs.
exactly. But now, personnel in the Army, you're gonna do everything. Like I know personnel in the Navy is like awards. You're a different
Yeah.
specialty and this, that, and the other. So yeah, it's all one for us. Yeah.
Hmm. Did you take classes while you were?
College classes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I actually got finished my bachelor's and my master's while I was on active duty.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your intention to come in was just because you wanted something better, right?
Yeah.
And when you saw it,
Yeah.
now for I know for you guys, when y'all first come in, it's like you gotta wait like a year or something. Is it a year or to go to school?
For when you first come in, when I came in, it was like a year to before you can like start classes and anything. But you're talking, I came in like '97, but that's a whole nother story. So it's back in the day. So, but yeah, but believe it or not, I did not start college until maybe 2000. I came in '97, but I didn't start doing college. So no, actually like 2002. I didn't start doing college classes until like 2002. And I finally earned my bachelor's degree. Then I took a break, and I didn't get my master's degree. I didn't finish it until I was in Hawaii, and that was in 16.
Girl, I came in for education and didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't complete my bachelor's until 2009 on my first deployment.
Yeah.
So I didn't, school, when I came in, school wasn't 100% TA. It was only 75%. And I just, you know how it's like you come in and you're like, okay, so do I pay my car payment or do I take this class?
Yeah.
What one should I do? And then taking the class. So 2009 is when I actually got like my what they call it, the bug, right? So it's like, okay, I need to do this class, I need to do this, I need to max out this money. How am I throwing away all this money? I'm calculating
Exactly.
money I'm throwing away, and it's like, yo, I
Yeah.
done wasted a whole lot of money that
Yeah.
I will never get back because you don't get it.
Yeah.
You don't use it, you don't get it.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I didn't finish my master's, so I was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
2000,
So
I want to say
the army paid for my bachelor's and master's. I didn't have to
I
pay
had
that.
to pay out of pocket for well, I guess that was a choice.
Yeah.
For my master's, because the school I went to, they only paid the Air Force only paid a certain amount, so I ended up having to pay. I want to say it was like a couple $100 to take the class, but then
But think about it.
I got it back.
A couple $100 compared to thousands of dollars that you would have to pay in the civilian world.
But I got it back because I claimed it on taxes, because you could claim. I didn't even complain. I'm just saying, like, these
Exactly.
people just. That's the thing about the military or the young kids or even people like, oh, I don't want to go to college. I don't need it. But
Yeah.
you do, because
You
nobody
do need
else
it.
can give you that benefit. That you're just throwing away money that people are going in debt for. Debt.
Chisa, I would say to anyone who's listening, to say that you don't need college, I would tell you that's a false. Because even me coming out of the military and going into a job, and I did my resume,
Mm-hmm.
having that degree on my resume, trust me, that bumped me up. And I had a degree. So that degree gives you more money when you talking your salary, okay?
Yes, that's a
So
very good
you
point.
thinking you don't need a degree, when you have a degree, you can start negotiating your salary on a civilian sector because you have a degree. So anyone who's listening, don't ever think that you don't need a degree. Your degree speaks volumes, and it speaks and helps you when you are trying to negotiate your salary in the civilian world. Trust that.
Now, crossing over, was it easy for you?
Yes. I think it was easy. I think it was easy. First I thought when I decided, good segue, Chisa, because can I back a little bit, then we can talk about when I crossed.
Of course.
Let's talk about why I decided to retire.
Yes.
So my oldest child, we had moved. My oldest daughter, she had gone to 4 different high schools.
Yeah.
We had gotten to Hawaii, where I met you. She finally graduated in Hawaii. We were sitting at the dinner table. This is right after she had graduated from Mililani High School in Hawaii. This was in June of 18. Yep, June of 18. We're sitting at the dinner table. She was preparing to come back to mainland for university, to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
She had super smart. She had full scholarship to Mississippi State University. We're sitting at the dinner table. We're just talking, and she just started like vomiting, like word vomiting, just telling me how she really felt. And Jay said to me, Mom, the reason we like the military because you like the military. We had no real friends. We moved everywhere. So we liked it because you liked it. And we have no friends that we could say that we've known a long time. And basically they hated it. And then Jordan, at the time, she's in elementary school in Hawaii. And she was basically agreeing with her sister. And at that moment, Chisa, I felt like the worst parent in the world because the kids told me that they were going along because mom was happy. They
Yeah.
told me that I gave more to the soldiers than I gave to them.
Which isn't true, but I guess in their eyes, right?
In their eyes, they
Their
felt like I treated the soldiers better than I treated them.
yeah.
So I didn't intervene. I didn't interrupt them. I
Yeah.
just let them say it. It made me feel like a horrible parent. And at that point, that's when I knew it was time. So that's when I made the decision and I didn't want to put Jordan through it.
Yeah.
So I waited until my 1 year mark, and which was a month later, and which was July of 18, and I could drop my retirement, and I did. And it was approved, and I dropped retirement. So, and I have to be honest with you, it was one of the, I was scared at first, but once I did it, it was one of the best decisions I could make for me and my family. Um, Happy. The girls were happy. First, they were like, "Are you serious?" I was like,
You sure?
"Yes." Yeah, they were like, "Are you serious?" No, I was like, "Yeah." So we did it. During that transition period, I was waiting for Jordan to finish her school year in Hawaii. I got a call. Someone knew somebody, and I got a call for an interview for a job here in Florida. I interviewed over Zoom from Hawaii. I landed a job. And again, my resume spoke for itself. And that's why I say you can negotiate your salary.
Yeah.
I landed a job in Florida, and Jordan and I packed up and we moved to Florida.
Now, is she happy? Does she have friends that she?
Jordan still don't have friends. Jay loves college. Dre is now 21. Dean's List still on her scholarship. She is going into her senior year of college. She is a straight A student studying forensic, no, biochem major, I believe. She wants to be a forensic pathologist. She is taking the MCATs for medical school in a couple of weeks here in Florida. Jordan is a straight A student here in Florida at the high school up the street. They're loving it, I believe.
You couldn't be
Um,
a terrible mother for having two amazing kids. I
I
mean,
mean,
point.
Chisa, I would be honest. It's called that tough love because I've always been about educate their education, and I always, even though they say that I did more for the service members, I always put that effort into making sure
Yeah.
that their education was important, and I made sure that their grades, and I took the time to make sure homework was done. I may not have made every program at school, but I always made sure I communicated with the teachers to
Yeah.
make sure everything was going well at school.
Yeah.
So yeah, best decision I could have made to retire. And I did 22 years. I'm proud of that 22 years. I mean, people have done way more, trust me, but I'm
That,
at peace. I am at peace with my 22 years, and I am proud of what I've done and being able to raise two girls. And that's why I it kind of cringes me a little when I hear um, single parents in the military like to always use the excuse of I'm a single parent.
yeah.
I was a single parent.
Yeah.
Everyone is different.
Yeah.
By no means am I beating down anyone else. Don't, and everyone's situation is different. Trust me, you can do it.
Yeah.
Don't ever tell yourself I'm a single parent and it's hard. Yes, it is hard, but you just got to do it. Trust me. If you want it bad enough, you got to do it. Just do it. Trust me. Get you a good village. Trust me, you
Yes.
can do it.
Hey, get that village is it.
That get you a good, trustworthy village. That village, trust me, you can do it. And I feel like I I did a good. I think I did a good job.
You did an amazing job. You
Thank
did.
you.
It's what it's people, they want to say like what they think, right? It's like,
Mm.
okay, hey, yeah, yeah, you may have missed a couple of things, but in reality, does that make a perfect parent by making everything like? But because you sit in that crowd, like, oh my god, I could be at home doing something. Listen, my mother used to
Yes.
come. When I tell you, we had like
Exactly.
choir. Like, I don't, we moved a lot. My mother wasn't in the military, but we moved a lot. So we were from school to school, and she would come to the, like, if we did choir. I remember doing choir. She would be there with her little umbrella in the back. When you were done, you shut it down, get off the stage, we're about to go home. We're
Yeah.
not going to stay here for nothing.
Yes.
So in reality, I don't think that makes or break you if you've been to every single thing. Because some days you be like, do I really need to go to this?
Yeah.
Do you really want me there? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So is there something that you think that is on your heart to share that you haven't said that you feel somebody would get value from?
Don't quit.
Wow.
I am one. I think I have the soft heart for my single parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have the I do. I have the soft heart for my single parents because I was a single parent. Yo, 100. It is a tough job. Trust me, you can do it. Trust and believe you can do it. Just prioritize. I learned to prioritize. So with the girls, they were when both girls, they're 6 years apart. I had to learn to prioritize. Once Jay got up into a certain age and she got into high school, Jay understood. Okay, Jay, you're in high school now, so Jordan's in elementary school. She leaves a little bit more. I need to be there a little bit more for her elementary things than you do. So just learn to prioritize, and you're right, you're not gonna make everything. And yeah, I felt bad about a lot of stuff, but trust me, you can do it. And at the end, when you when the mission is accomplished and you can say that your kids are great, did great in school, and you only had to give them a pow pow a couple times, and you didn't have to go to school, and they didn't get suspended.
Yes.
Hey, they didn't get suspended from school. None of that stuff. There was no fights at school, and the report cards
Yeah.
came home, and they had straight A's. So you did amazing. You're gonna
Yep.
100%. I beat myself down. I felt like I was a horrible parent, but at the end of the day, the report cards came home. There were straight A's, and
Yep.
I don't know. So, and then when you have someone outside, when someone else tell you did great, yeah, that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So, so I have this one person. She always made me feel good. Her name is Chisa.
Yes.
so,
You're amazing. No
so
matter.
yeah, so I will always say just support from each other is a big thing. So instead of just that support each other is a big thing, especially in the military community. Supporting each other because I feel like we understand each other.
Yep.
And we understand our dynamics and all the moves, and we can relate to each other. I mean, trust me, the people outside understand, but I think we understand each other a lot more.
They don't understand the in depth. They can be like, oh hey, oh yeah, you have to leave. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you don't get it unless you have to live it.
yeah. So
It's a struggle,
yeah,
but you can do whatever you want to do. You just
yeah,
put your mind to it.
that is true.
Okay.
So
Well, is that all you want to share?
yeah, I think so. This has been great. I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, thank you for sharing the space and
Of
the chat
course,
with me.
this has been great. I mean, I could talk about this all day, but I can take our time.
Because it's a thing. Like, people, they look sideways at the military because of sometimes the sacrifices you do got to make to leave and the things. But for me, if you make a choice to do something and you set that intention to complete what you started, or even where you want your career to go,
Yeah,
it can be amazing. It's only the people who put that negative thought, like, oh, this is horrible. Every day you get up, you go to the job, be like, this is horrible, this is a mess. And it will always be a mess if you continue to think it's a mess.
yeah,
Which I,
yeah. Oh
so
yeah, and also there are all for those who are watching. Remind people there are females in the military. Okay,
oh yes, I mean, it's a
sometimes
whole,
people forget that there are
no,
females in the military. There are a
they
lot
do.
of us in the military.
They do. And when I remember when I was stationed in, where was I? Simbach. So I was in Germany and I went to get my car fixed and I had my uniform on and this guy, he was an older guy. He comes out and he's like, "Oh, you're in the military?" I
Yeah.
kind of like look at him sideways like, "What
Yeah.
you mean? Like, women are in the military." He's like, "Yeah, but you don't look like you belong in the military." I said, "What does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
does
We're
that
in the military.
we all here. So listen to whatever your thought process is of what you think should be a woman in the military or a person in the military. That's
Yeah.
that's your own opinion at this point.
It's
We
unfortunate,
all
but
here.
yeah.
We all here.
Yep.
But
That
yeah,
is true.
okay. Well, thank
I
you for
appreciate it.
spending time with me and sharing this space.
Thank you, ma'am.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye
Good
bye.
night.